Well, let's now go live to the presidential Imbizo in the Eastern Cape. This is where we find our reporter Natasha Phiri, who's standing by with the Minister of Police Bheki Cele for reaction on the big story this morning concerning former President Jacob Zuma. Natasha, good morning. Thank you so much for making time for us. Over to you and Minister Bheki Cele.
So much, Alden. Of course, this is the last installment of the presidential Imbizo. Of course, as SABC News, we have been crisscrossing all 9 provinces over the past 16 months, just following the president and his ministers with those public engagements with various communities across the country. You're quite correct, Alden. I am joined here by the Minister of Police. Of course, we'll start off by that breaking news and, of course, then delve into other issues pertaining this presidential Imbizo. Minister, thank you so much for joining us on SABC News. First and foremost, your reaction when it comes to the remission of sentence of former President Jacob Zuma.
Well, the Minister of Justice has made a proposal to the President for the remission of about 9,000. Former President Zuma falls within that category. And I know that early this morning was processed and he has gone home now. Like all other persons that has got this special remission, we say thank you, things are fine, we go on with life.
But the general consensus, I mean, just looking through my Twitter feed in the morning, some people in the general public is actually worried, saying that other inmates will be released. People are worried about their safety.
Well, I don't know why people would be worried about 9,000. This is a third batch, actually, since this administration started. The first one was 2018, where 14,000 people were released. During COVID-19, 19,000 were released. So this is 9,000. So long it's done within the law, but also the security cluster is informed so that the National Commission of the South African Police takes on board those investigating officers that were dealing some of those. But the bottom line, as we are told and we agree, is that those that are non-violent, though some of them, they do come back, some of them, they do give us problem again, but things are done within the law. So long the law of South Africa agrees on it, we can't blame anybody because it's within the law.
Minister, just moving to issues around the presidential Imbizo. I mean, you've been at every Imbizo. The underlying tone is that, you know, people are worried, communities are worried about crime in their areas. We went to Burgersfort, the last Imbizo was in Burgersfort, and people raised issues of organized crime, your crime cartels, your construction cartels. You go to the Imbizo that we had in Citibank, people raising the issues of Zama, which you've been busy with in the past week. How's the police ministry actually tasked with dealing with such issues?
Well, dealing with the crime, one thing that I will request, especially to all other people that we work with, is that things that are supposed to be fixed by the structures of the government rather than the police, they must do that. Here I've got this thing in my head of the Western Cape. In Western Cape, all the police for last week were dealing with the issue of the taxi industry. And the crime just shot up in a terrible way over that weekend. Now they've sorted the things out. So that's a call we're making on our colleagues. That things that you can resolve, please resolve those things so that we're able to do our work. But generally, people are raising the issue of crime, including here. I was here the whole day yesterday. I went to the police station, I spoke to the people. There is a big issue of the stock theft here and all that, and shortage of the resources and all. Usually we follow, once the president goes, we follow and try to fix those things. And we believe that helps. But also it helps to sit here and listen things that people, they talk about the police, but other things, so that together we are more coordinated as a government rather than individual department.
A key component of these Imbizos is, implementation. These are government is speaking to the immediate needs of people, and crime is a big factor. In terms of implementation, are you happy with what the police service has done so far around all these districts?
Well, the big implementation of the South African police, Natasha, you would know that for a very long time, the numbers of the police in South Africa have been dwindling. have been going down. If I give you an example, in the year 2010, we had 195,000 police. Now we had about 180 of them with increased population of South Africa. The immediate intervention that the president and the government have put are the training that we are doing. Last year we trained 10,000. This year we're training 10,000. Next year we're training 10,000. That is basic because policing is a human availability. You can have all your technology and all, but when it's supposed to arrest somebody, you send those people. It also helps us that we increase from that pool the specialized units, as you have seen what we are doing in places like Rivali and all that kind of stuff. That will be the first one. But the second one is to work on the budget itself. The budget of the police has been always going down. At least that has been arrested now, is balanced, and we believe that will be going up. That does two things: equipment, the cars and all, but also the remuneration of the members, which is a part of the morale of the police, the promotion, all those kind of things. But the last one on those is to work with the communities. It doesn't matter how much you do as a police. If you are not working with the communities, it's not going to help you. That's why we have also budgeted for the CPF for the first time ever in the history of policing. We have given them 60 million in this province. We have given them 70 million in this province. We've given them 6.5 so that they are able to harness and work with communities. That will improve the situation. Indeed, we're supposed to build more police stations and all those kind of things. But other conditions that needs to be improved, better working opportunities for people to be able to get jobs and all that, environmental design so that people are not in informal settlement, everybody, they live where they're supposed to live and get other essentials of life.
Minister, thank you so much. I just want to rope in somebody that we haven't seen here for the longest time. That is Minister Natasha. Of course, he comes from this district. Am I correct, Minister?
No, I'm from this district, yes, okay. Chris Ani, but I'm not from this municipality.
Okay.
I'm from Sakisizwe, which is the next municipality from here.
Where have you been? You've been missing out on action. We haven't seen you for the longest time.
You see, when I'm lying on my belly, I'm more dangerous because I wake up under you and you can't control that situation.
Minister, I'm going to request you to wear your other hat as an official of the ANC. We want a reaction to the remission of sentence of the former President Jacob Zuma.
If the Department of Correctional Services takes a decision, it has a constitutional duty to take that decision. I don't think we have a responsibility to question such a decision. They have taken a decision, we must just fall behind it.
Just looking at the Imbizo, the key reflections, I mean, this Imbizo has toured 9 provinces. What are the key takeaways and what can governments actually learn in terms of these Imbizos?
You know, I arrived here on Wednesday. We've delivered 2 fill-in projects of electricity. We've delivered a massive water project in the villages, not in town. And to me, that is the learning process, that you deliver practical projects in the villages. And the beauty of village people is that they appreciate when you deliver a project. They've asked us to bring fence in their field. We'll have to work hard to get that fence. And that is village people for you.
But you look at other areas and other communities are saying, yes, it's all well and good that government will come down to the people, hear the grievances of the people, but a lack of implementation with certain projects is a problem within government.
I don't know which projects are those. In the space I'm working in, one of the things that we're serious about is execution. No, we don't allow projects to go by and not be attended to. We follow them. Some are difficult, they take time. Others are simple, we run quick on them, and that's what it is. For example, I listen to people saying, we want to deliver projects now because there are elections. Now I reminded some of the people who said that to me, I said, if we deliver a water project here because there are elections, they must appreciate that because after election, we're not going to come back and fresh that water project. If we connect people to electricity, We're not going to come back and take that electricity. We'll have to deal with load shedding. That's all we need to do. But they will be connected.
Which raises my next question. Is the Imbizo used as a campaigning tool for the governing party?
No, Imbizo is an old character of government. Old. Almost every president has had Imbizos. It's not a campaigning tool. It's a practical people interaction where the president interacts with people directly. People ask various questions that are difficult. That's why he forces us as ministers to come with him. So that if a question is relevant to a department I'm in charge of, I must give the answers right here. And that is the beauty of Imbizos.
Minister, thank you so much for your time. Of course, the issue around the Imbizos and the people here at heart are actually the communities here. Aljon, I'm just going to request that if I can just quickly interview one person from this community and ask them what their expectations are. Buti, thank you so much for joining us on SABC News. Nvile, we just spoke to the minister. The president is going to come here. As umuntu wangapha, what are you expecting to hear from the president? And nina ikhalo zeni yini la?
Apha kulentsika yethu kwindawo yaseTsomo. Ndingathi sojonga into isikhalazo mna ndosibekayo ngokwam ndingoyama mpofu bendicela nje nothi bazawuthi uba utshonelwe likhadi lakho kwi-ATM funa kuyazi uzawutshona icofa imvaba okanye engcobo yayibona ke ngokufika sekudala ukhuthuziwe kanti ebekunazo ibhanki uba ungene ngaphakathi apha ngeba sisafe sibethelwe nje ke ngoku nentshontshwanyana nje le mall qha sizikhalo zam kezo mna ndedwa.
Okay, wena baba?
Mna ndinguwonga engcobo. Izikhalo zethu thina sinamasimo kokhokho bethu ahleli nje angasetyenziswayo. Uba urhulumente angasincedisa ngosikwazi usifakelela amanzi asibiyelele amasimi singakwazi ukuncedisana naye kuba thina siselalo lakhono labazali lakudala uba sikwazi into yoba nolu lutsha ngoku luhamba iindawo ezingafanelekanga zingaphela nezo nto kucreate ke nemisebenzi kusetyenzwe ezilalini. Ingapheleli into yoba kuthiwe umntu uyawuthi azasebenze funeka asuke akhwele ibhasi apha ngemali engange-900 abheke eKapa aphinde nalapho abe i-waste futhi. Ingasi ke urhulumente asincedise kwicala lolima amasimi la okona kungamandla.
One last guess, mama, wena ikhalo zakho?
Ndingaseqala mna ndinguzoleka Sanda. Isikhalo esinazo thina pha eqala zindlela kunye nebroho kudala sacela ibroho isuka esikoleni ukuwelela ngaphesheya abantwana bethu bawela nzima so sasicela ibroho bangasincedisa urhulumente ngala broho yasemnxe nenye ibroho ebheka kwilali ekuthiwa kuseliqeni neendlela zethu zimbi siyamcela urhulumente asincedise ngendlela nabantwana bethu youth engasebenziyo sicela ii-jobs. Enkosi.
Okay, ngiyabonga mama. Of course, Aljon, very serious needs are there that were raised by the community here in the Ntsika Yethu local municipality in the Chris Hani district. Of course, we got various reactions there from the Minister of Police and of course Minister Natasha. Aljon, if I'll just please request one more guest. I'm joined here, Ms. Ntemi Nkadimeng. Minister, thank you so much for joining us on SABC News. You've been crisscrossing the country for 16 months now. This is the last Imbizo, but I understand this is there's going to be a second round. Just key reflections on the past Imbizos. What have you learned? What can you do better?
Well, thank you very much for the opportunity. I think what we can learn better is maximization on government reporting back vis-a-vis the opportunity given to people to indicate and vindicate what their issues are. The South African society has already indicated in one way or the other to government we have problems with our roads, with water. Yes, we do visit a project before the president could come and hand over. But what is of critical importance is that even if it means you minimize the number of the people that the president engages with, but maximize on the president on the ground, delivering on the projects that the people have already identified. So on our second phase is more about consolidation of the IDPs, the one plans, with indication from communities what do we exactly need, and directing the president either to go and launch that project, turn around that project. I mean, this project we're coming from is unacceptable that it took the municipality 10 years to get it into the ground. Something is not right in how we are, in our mechanization. And that's the message. And people can't wait 10 more years for it to connect to Butterworth. So the instruction of the president from the project example that we're coming from is that we need to be able to say in 18-24 months Butterworth has water. So the Department of DWS has committed the extension of bulk to Butterworth in the Chawe River, and secondly, all the other areas which needs to benefit, totaling around 77,000 in 24 months. Half of the project, which is phase 1, is being implemented and communities are receiving water, but I'm still saying it's not good 10 years down the line.
Minister, how will you ensure accountability then in this case? I mean, if you find that local municipalities don't implement, surely, national government should actually crack the whip now.
Well, it's true. It has mainly been one of the areas which COGTA in this instance has not been doing well. Because the reason why MIG comes to our department is not because we are transferring authority, but we are a management authority. So what do we say when we transfer money for 10 years for one project, which is done at a slow pace, instead of adding capacity if the municipality does not have capacity, so that acceleration and people receive services. So the diagnosis is that yes, money could be a problem, but here integrated planning, integrated implementation seems to be much of a problem than the availability of resources. And I think that's what the second round of the Imbizo will be about.
Minister, unfortunately, we've run out of time. Thank you so much. But of course, we will catch up with you later on and we will hold you accountable in regards to these presidential Imbizos. Aldrin, thank you so much. Many reactions are coming through from not only ministers, but the people on the ground. Of course, you've heard it here on SABC News that a second round of Imbizos will be taking place soon. And of course, as SABC News, because we have been covering the story extensively, we will be on top of that. But that said, Aldrin, it's back to you in studio.